Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. This is Jenga Njeru. Now, today we have the Matchmaker show, and you understand the protocol here that any other time we have a man on board, that man must be looking for a woman. In the same way, when we have a woman on board, that woman must be looking for a man. But because today we have a man, I will tell you the kind of woman he is looking for. Before then, if you're watching us for the very first time, this is the Matchmaker show. We help men and women to get matches, and the moment they get the right ones, they meet their destinies. So you're not lost. If you're new to the show, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. Also, don't forget that the contacts of our guests will be on my Facebook page at Jenga Njeru. So you can follow Jenga Njeru on Facebook so that you will be getting these updates in real time. Our guest on today's show is an unusual man because at the age of 83, you could be asking yourself, why is this man single and what kind of a woman is he looking for? Where has he been all this long that now at the age of 83, he's looking for a wife? To start with, I want to give a disclaimer because some of these traditions, some of these, norms, societal beliefs cannot be unbound from the various people who believe in them. For example, we are living in the middle of a crisis right now because some people do not understand the weight that tradition has, the weight that their culture has on their destinies. So, as we speak right now, most people, if you do not understand, like, this is the norm of a family, this is the norm of a culture, this is what should be done at a particular time, then you're bound to fail. In simpler terms, if your family had, let's say, an inheritance of an estate, and the patriarch of that family or the father of that family said, this property can only be inherited by people who have a family, by people who have a continuation into the future. Believe you me, if you become a partaker of that inheritance and the patriarch has left a word, then you are in for the consequences. You are in for a rude shock. So, on today's show, we are having Joshua. Joshua na jina hiyo ingine ni Maina. And you could be asking yourself, at the age of 83, Joshua Maina is looking for a wife. Why? And what has culminated to this kind of urgent need for a wife? And maybe alikuwa na yeye akampoteza. This is what I want us to understand on the show. Now, for starters, Mr. Maina has never been married all his life. And in their family, they have this thing of longevity. You are living for so many years. His father died at 114, and his father is a man who left a word that everybody was going to inherit. He is one of the most synonymous men in the traditional Mau Mau thing. People who were able, I am not using the word grabbed, but acquire. I want to use the word acquire because I was not there when land was being grabbed. I cannot verify if I say it was grabbed. I cannot verify from whom it was grabbed, when it was grabbed, and who was there. So he was able to acquire large chunks of land, and he was a developer. In ancient times, ancient means kitambo, you know, in those old days, people used to count their wealth in terms of heads of cattle, in terms of wealth, in terms of, the properties they had, the chunks of land. And his father was right in the middle of that partition. So his father got a good chunk. He was able to get in Molo. He was able to get some other parts in Eldoret. He was able to get some parts in Naivasha, in Nanyuki. But baba yake akipass, their home, like nyumbani kwao, their patriarchal home is in Nanyuki. Na unaweza ukajiuliza, mbona mzee wa 83 sasa hajawahi oa? Why is the hurry right now? So right inside the middle of the will ya baba yao alisema ya kwamba kila kijana ambaye amezaliwa na damu yake, if he is not going to have a continuation, if he is not going to be having a continuation of that generation, if that man is going to get married, the only exception ni mtu aingie kwa ndoa, alafu akiingia kwa ndoa mtoto akosekane, kwa sababu the ability to get a child, that ability is given by God, and you cannot just wake up and curse somebody because they did not get a child. It was not maybe within their powers, unless they were able to orchestrate it. Najua kuna mtu anaweza sema ameavya mimba mingi sana, pengine kuna mtu ametoa mimba mingi mpaka akafika mahali hawezi shika ingine, maybe that is personally inflicted. But if somebody was not able to get through natural means, it means that that person is not to be condemned because it was beyond their power. Sasa Maina Joshua is a man who was very notorious, if I may use this word, because this story tumeongea na yeye na Kikuyu. The reason he is not on the show is because he is in Nanyuki. I cannot be able to go to Nanyuki to cover that story, and I have not been able to, sometimes you see on our show we do not charge, so I am not able to charge this man that he, wacha nikuje mpaka Nanyuki. It will serve the same thing. If there's somebody who will be interested, that person will be interested. If somebody will not be interested, then that person will press next and wait for the next guest on the show. So lakini ikiwezekana anaweza kuja. Tumekuwa tukiongea na yeye kwa Kikuyu, and now yule kijana mwenye anaweza muita anko, ule kijana anamuitanga anko, ndiye sasa ameweza kupitisha hii maneno vizuri, akaniambia venye kunaenda. So we've been talking to him, don't want to disclose the name, and he told me that priests in the family, lawyers in the family are saying that because Mr. Maina is a thirdborn, he cannot be denied part of that estate. And there should be, it is always a holocaust. It is always it is always a bad omen if somebody comes on this earth and never impacted anybody, never impacted anything. Yeye akakula maisha. Unajua watoto wengi ma cool kids wenye wame come from this big families, ati mpaka baba yake ako na hoteli zenye zinakaa wazungu huko. It feels very bad if that person will not have any impact. He was not in the social work, he was not in government projects, he was not even in the middle of government employees, he has not impacted, he has not started a ministry. Alikuwa tu hapo. I am not using the word nde, lakini yeye amekuwa, he has just been around. And this time round, and he's sober. Hata huwezi sema ni mzee wa, huwezi sema mzee amefika 83, but he's very sober and he understands the repercussions. He has been advised, anaambiwa vizuri sana, if you do not, kama wewe mwenyewe hautapata mtu, hata kama ni mtu wa formalities, you are not right in the middle of succession. And the layman's language would be, kwani si ame 83, si nimekaribia Sayuni, so ni ya nini na succeed. But you see, you don't want a bad omen on your grave. You don't want a bad omen. I actually don't believe in these things myself, but you see different families are prone to different beliefs, and you respect it, okay? Because to as many as of those who are born right in the middle of that family and they believe in that culture, they belong to that culture, the repercussions and the consequences can always befall them. So you cannot blame him. You cannot blame him for at least trying to get a match. So now this is the juicy part. He is not looking forward to, and this is where I tell people, do the right thing at the right time. On normal conditions, somebody could be assuming, wacha Maina atafute mtu wa formalities, mtu wa rika yake, wa enjoy kidogo kidogo hivi, wapate hiyo, kama watapata kitu, watoto wa huyu mama wata benefit. But that is not what he wants. In fact, he wants a woman who is between the ages of 25 and 35. Reason, ati huyo mtu akuja apate mtoto. And I'm like, who is ready to step down from 25 maybe to 35 apate mtoto na mzee ako 83? So I want you to do your maths. By the time huyo mtoto anafika hata high school, unaona ile hesabu tutafanya, unashindwa kama hata huyu mzee atakuwa akikumbuka jina. But again, the motto of this show is that we do not discriminate against anybody on the basis of gender, on the basis of age, on the basis of background, wherever. Everything that gives diversity a sense, notwithstanding, we do not discriminate against. So again, we cannot deny him a chance. So mine is to just give him, and he is not even a violent man. You are aware that at the age of 83, most of your energy levels have gone down significantly, but yeye anasema ako imara kama simba na atapata mtoto, na yeye ako tayari, na anasema kama kuna mtu ako tayari, listen, if there is a woman out there, regardless of tribe, regardless of where she's coming from, if that woman is there and the woman has kids, because at that age you expect at least maybe somebody between 25 and 35, it is not a wonder if they have children and could be interested in a man who is 83, well and good, that woman can just go there. Namuuliza, sasa mzee unafanya kazi gani? Hafanyangi kazi. um, what happened is that as a firstborn of 5, the the man is at least, you know, what do you call him, well off, lakini ni ile ya unajua, kuna watu wanashindaga wakisema yeye ni mali ya kutafutiwa. The fact remains that if he is a partaker, he is a partaker. And it is the highest time people stop hating on people who were born in privilege, because if you want, you can also raise your children in privilege. And you see, people who are raised in privilege don't start from square one, they don't start from scratch. You look at the richest man in Africa. I was reading his story. Despite the fact that he started his companies from scratch, Aliko Dangote was able to borrow millions from his uncle, his maternal uncle, akaipata akafanyisha kazi alafu akarudisha. You get the point? So being born in privilege is also an advantage. It's an advantage by default. You're born with a silver spoon, you know, you're born with a silver spoon, and it can give you mileage unknown. Because imagine somebody wants to start a business. How many of us do you think have business ideas? But because we are not born in privilege, you can only wait until you get that money. Because again, if you're born in privilege, it is not very difficult for people to believe in your idea. They give you the money, you try, you fail, you try another one, you fail, and they don't even complain. But watu ambao wanaanza from scratch, Mungu atusaidie, kwa sababu tena there are people you start with and you wonder whether you started with them. They are carried from what takes you like 3 years to achieve, it takes them 1 month to achieve. Okay, you can even imagine somebody who is having like social influence and they want to hold somebody's hand. Somebody is having a lot of social influence, they want to hold your hand, and if you are one man show, it could take you years of hard work before hata watu wakujue, lakini mtu mwingine anakushika tu mkono hivi, anakuonyeshana kwa watu, the following morning you are an influencer. That's what happens. So it is the highest time that people stop hating on people who are born in privilege, and Mr. Minor is one of them. If you will be interested, I will pin the number of the guy who calls him uncle, now the nephew, na sitaki karibu nitaje jina yake, lakini nitaweka contact yake pale. Ukipiga hapo ni kama umereach Mr. Minor, because again, you know, at 83 mtu hata nasahau tulikuwa tumeongea na nani na nani na nani. This is the guy who is helping him to coordinate. If he gets a good wife, pap, everything starts, formalities inaanza, kila kitu, and he doesn't want to bring a bad omen. So I asked him, so Bwana Minor, so it was not your intention from day one to get married? He said, no, I will be honest with you, I never intended to get married. I don't want to get married, but I also don't want a bad omen. So the only reason why he wants to get married is so that he can be able to, you know, remove that kind of bad face from the family, to become an embarrassment from the family. Hawajakosa kitu. Hawa ni watu ambao unasikia hata mzee, imagine somebody has not worked for 83 good years joyriding on the father's property, you know, they get royalties here and there. Baba yake pia alikuwa mtu mkubwa, alikuwa na, if you go on Google Scholar, kuna watu ambao walikuwa wanafanya hizo articles za kitambo. Babu yake alisomea Scotland, you know, na there are those grandfathers, hata great grandchildren watahang picha zao kwa ukuta, and Mr. Minor does not want to fall within that face. Sasa yeye anasema ile kitu itafanya maybe wajaribu wakose, lakini kutafuta mtoto yeye atajaribu. I have not seen somebody at 83 who wants to get a baby, and wonders shall never end. Every day is a learning day. Every day we see a new thing on the show. So if you will be interested, I will pin that number ya huyo nephew yake, and then you can get in touch, and then one thing leads to another. Hakuna mtu atakosa mwenzake, na hivyo ndivyo ilivyo. So if you're there and you believe that you're too old, maybe you're just 40, 30, 50, 60, or even 70, you're not old. You are as old as you feel. Are we together? So please brace yourselves, because we are on a journey to make singles get matches, and we believe that everything is possible. Until next time, this is Jenganjero. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you will go to Facebook and follow Jenganjero. And I'm also marketing Clock Post Media. This is an international media that I am getting some followers here and there for them. And fortunately, we were able to help them reach 100 followers within one day, and we are very excited. So if you would like, or you are a fan of international news, this is a media house called Clock Post. You can check their page on Facebook. I'll pin it down here, and you can follow them. Until tomorrow, God bless you. Bye bye.